This is another Black Girl podcast. Black girl. We're doing our best to make it last. This is another Black Girl podcast. We're doing our best to make it last. Another Black Girl podcast. Hey everyone, this is your host Laura, and this is the 15th episode of another Black Girl podcast. As always, I'm so grateful for you tuning in and for your presence here. As always, you can find me on Facebook at Another BGF. You can find me on Instagram at Another BGI. You can find me on Twitter at Another BGT, and you can find me on my, it's not brand new anymore, but it's still fairly new and it's still undergoing some edits. So if you're curious, check it out at www.anotherbg.com. Since my last update on how this podcast was doing, it has actually done so much better. I believe this podcast has 800 and counting total plays, an audience size of about 40. And wait for this. There are listeners in the US, the UK, Canada, France, Curacao, Spain, Germany, Sweden, Argentina, and Singapore. To all my new listeners, regardless of location, age, whatever you're listening to this on, sexual identity, gender orientation, religion, whatever, I'm so glad that you're here. And I would love some feedback. So, however you want to give it to me, I'm definitely open to it. I hope that you have all had a great week. And obviously by great, I do not mean productive. Because, child, we're living through a pandemic right now. So that's a big accomplishment. A lot of people can't say that they did. Every few episodes, I like to switch it up and do something different. And today is one of those days. So stay tuned for something new, I guess. Yeah. So I made a blog post earlier this week, basically just talking about all of the things that are going on in this nation and in this world. Again, I'm sorry to all of my listeners that aren't American and don't live in America. But yeah, you probably know things are pretty bad here, and we're not okay. We're freaking out. If you don't know, our election is currently taking place. I personally have never heard of early voting, but this is only my second presidential election that I'm participating in because I am 22. But to my knowledge and understanding, a lot more people have turned out for this election prior to the actual election day than they have in previous elections. I heard President Obama say in a previous speech that only 40% of the American people actually come out to vote during presidential elections. But for this specific election, this is not the case. So, everyone in my family has voted early at this point, and we've waited on some pretty long lines. It's serious. And in addition to that, this past week, the US has gotten a new record, I guess, for the most COVID cases in a week. I believe there's 100,000 people who just got positive COVID results this past week. That's nuts. And very scary. And in addition to that, another Black man has been killed by police in the state of Philadelphia. He did not have a gun. He had a knife, but he was killed in broad daylight in front of his mother. Having a knife shouldn't cost you your life. And I wasn't intentionally trying to rhyme here. This is no lighthearted, joking matter. As we know, if Dylan Roof can kill 9 people in a church during prayer and Bible study and get some Burger King and make it to jail and not a morgue, There's clearly two different standards here, but if you're here, odds are you know that. So, the point of this episode and the point of me saying all of these things is basically just a very long-winded way of me saying that there's a lot going on right now. Obviously, we are still advocating for the end of government corruption and police brutality in Nigeria. No citizen should have to be afraid of its government. They shouldn't be afraid of torture, imprisonment, kidnapping. And maybe I'm just very American, but no citizen should be barred from protesting in the land and the government and the society that they attempt to participate in. So just like how we're pushing for the end of government corruption and an end to police brutality and an end to police, we're advocating for that worldwide because Black lives matter. And until Black lives matter, all lives can't matter. So yes, a lot is going on worldwide, but specifically in our nation, in my nation. Sorry, excuse me. So, with that being said, this week I wanted to kind of guide us in a meditation. The Bible says that there is a time and place for everything, a time to laugh, a time to cry, a time to sow, a time to reap. And honestly, there's a time to fight, there's a time to attack, and there's also a time to retreat. There is a time where you need to escape to maintain your peace. And for me, in my personal life, it feels like nothing is sure. So I think that this would be a great time for me and hopefully for you to turn inward. So, I'm going to be guiding us through a meditation. All right. So, sorry if you just heard my chair squeak. I had to get comfortable. For this guided meditation, you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. Before we begin, you're going to have to suspend your disbelief. You're going to have to basically just come along for the ride. So, you can close your eyes, you can keep them open if the darkness freaks you out, which is totally fine. You can sit up in a chair like I am, or you can lie down. Just find a comfortable resting place. Before I guide us through this meditation, we're just going to start with 3 easy, comfortable breaths. Focus on your breath. Try to deepen it. Try to be mindful of it. Or if that's too much for you, just breathe. Now that we've brought some attention to our breath, I think we're ready to begin. Underneath my voice, you're going to hear the same audio of breath, just to keep you mindful, and just to kind of guide your breath. Your breath should be deep, deeper than it normally is. Life cannot exist without breath. Even the ocean breathes, not in the way that we breathe, but in a constant flow, in a constant cycle. Think about your breath as circular. It's always in and out. As you continue to breathe, as you deepen your breath, imagine out of the top of your head flows a beam of light. It can be whatever color you want it to be. And as you deepen your breath, it expands and expands and expands. And it flows all the way up, past the clouds. And as you breathe, that beam of light is you. It is your essence. It is your spirit, your heart, your soul. And if not that, it is the most pure and most important part of you. So as you continue to breathe, you float away from all earthly desires, all troubles, all sickness, all bills, all injuries, all disputes, all troubles. And with your breath, you just float up in the color of your choosing. The air is crisp. It is the perfect temperature. Whatever you want it to be. Is it hot? Is it cold? Can you feel the sun shining on your skin? Is it warm? And it's just you, the perfect air, the perfect temperature, and the clouds. That's it. There is no turbulence. The air is smooth. And your light shines through the clouds. You are bright. You are your favorite color. And you shine almost as bright as the sun. Like I said before, there is no sorrow, no pain, no difficulty. So let it all go. If there's tenseness in your body, let it go. Let it melt off of you. What do the clouds look like while they're up here? Can you feel them? Are they light and fluffy? Are they barely there? This space is a space that you can create and change and exist. This is your place. You can speak to loved ones up here. Ones that may not be physically with you. You can relive your favorite memories with them right here. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. Maybe it's Halloween. Maybe it's decorating a Christmas tree, sharing a drink, going for a walk, sharing a hug, having a conversation in a car. Whatever it is, this is your space. Can you remember their face? How their hands felt when they were in yours? Can you remember their smile? Imagine their voice. If they could speak to you right now, what would they say? And what is your response? In their own special little way, they tell you and they let you know that it is going to be okay. That you are going to be okay. And no matter what you're facing now, you are going to make it through. In their special way, they tell you that they love you. And that this space will always be here for you to visit them and to speak to them and to ask them questions. And they take you for a walk. Your light intertwines with theirs, and it makes a brilliant combination. One that shines brighter than jewels. And as you travel through this sacred space, you remember everything that they've taught you. As you traverse this sacred space, intertwined, you remember who you were when they were physically in your life. You remember the best parts of yourself. You remember the way you two interacted, the way you felt, the best parts of you. And as you attempt to remember, maybe some not so nice parts come up. But in this space, you are pure. And nothing exists outside of this brilliant mixture of color. Your loved one tells you to let it go. Whatever you're holding on to and not forgiving yourself for, they tell you to let it go. There's no need for baggage on this journey. What do the two of you proceed then to talk about? Maybe what they've missed. Maybe what you've missed. Maybe what both of you have missed. And maybe it's not just one person. Maybe it's a group of your loved ones. Loved ones that you've seen and missed. And all of your colors come together and intertwine and create the most brilliant light that anyone on earth has ever seen. And whatever that brilliant color is, whatever brilliant color you have created with your loved ones in this sacred space, now becomes your color. They are sacred and are a part of you. You take them with you where you go. What they have taught you, what you have learned from them, and all of the memories and things that you have shared together are now a part of you. And in this space, with your loved ones, they recognize that you still have a ways to go. And in their own special ways, again, they tell you that it is going to be okay. And that you are going to be okay. And since they know who you are, and since they know that you have a ways to go, as this beautiful, brilliant mixture of light traverses the heavens and fills your body with a brand new, more beautiful essence than before, They affirm who you are in this present moment, and they affirm who you will become in the future. They ask you who it is that you seek to be. Who do you seek to be? And with each breath, answer. And as you answer, your loved one repeats that affirmation and repeats who you are becoming back to you. Because not only is that changing you, but it's changing them. In your betterment, you are remembering and memorializing them. In your affirmations, they find their breath. They find new life through you. So who is it that you seek to be? What will you honor their memory with? And as they continue to affirm who you seek to be, with that last affirmation, they share their absolute and utter support of who you are becoming. They share their belief in you with you. They tell you how proud they are of you, and that this sacred space for both you and them will continue to exist, and that you always have the opportunity to return there. And again, in their own special way, they reiterate that they love you, and that they believe in you, and that they support you, and that they will be affirming who you are becoming from this sacred space for as long as you have breath in your body. And as you continue to breathe, this new, beautiful, brilliant color, this color that has your chosen color mixed in with the colors of your loved ones, this beam of light slowly starts to shrink. It slowly starts to come closer and closer to your body. The beam starts to decrease. And it lingers over the top of your head, and then flows and lands straight in your heart. It fills your body up with this beautiful, brilliant light. It shines through every pore. It shines through your veins. It shines through your fingertips and your toes. It shines through your heart. And even when it's not visible, that brilliant light is still shining. This light This encounter that you've had is so sacred that it is undetectable to the naked eye. But it is in your heart, and it can be felt. It can be remembered. It is the same temperature as the air above the clouds. You can feel it when you remember the touch of their hand, the sound of their voice, their smile, an embrace, a memory. That is now a part of your essence. So with these last few cycles of breath, return to yourself. Start to wake up in the body. Start to find a little bit of movement. Open your eyes. Slowly sit up if you're lying down. And slowly let that meditation go. Thank you for letting me guide you through this meditation. Yes, it is Halloween in the US. And yes, it's spooky season. But also, Halloween, to some, has been derived from honoring our loved ones who have passed on. And during this pandemic, where we have lost countless amounts of people, countless amounts of our loved ones, it's important that we remember them. And for me personally, today has been a day where I've honored and commemorated and thought of my loved ones who have passed on. Not in a negative way, but in a positive and a beneficial way. And I'm so grateful that you gave me the opportunity to share this with you. After this meditation, I could go on and say a whole bunch of things, but I hope that meditation left you in a better space, a better head space, and a better heart space. And if you need to take more time tonight or tomorrow, if you want to sit under the full moon and continue to affirm yourself with your loved ones that may have passed on, feel free to do so. Again, I'm so grateful for the time that we spend together. I'm so grateful for your presence here. And I am so grateful that you were healthy, that you are well, and that you are safe. Have a great evening and have a great week. I love you guys. Till next time, this is your host Lauren, Lori, or Laura, or whatever. And this is another Black Girl Podcast.